Salute to you all. The brave never fall. Self-love through freedom and connection. So feel free to connect to the brave never fall on these social media platforms. If you find anything of value in this following podcast, hit that like button, subscribe and share, and support the brave and bold tribe growing one purposeful soul at a time. How are you feeling? Take a moment to do a self-check-in for yourself. How are you feeling mentally? How are you feeling emotionally? How are you feeling physically? How are you feeling spiritually? Are you feeling balanced? Are you still journeying on an intentional, purposeful path? How are you feeling? Balancing yourself is a healthy daily practice that will reliably keep you in harmony with your entire mind, body, heart, and soul. Clear your mind. Take a moment of silence for yourself right now in the moment. You are here now. How are you feeling? It's your day. Don't get lost. Get moving. Every day is about forward momentum. Each step better than the last. Optimism in the brain. Not giving up. When you're emotionally drained, physically drained, that positivity you have each day to make you smile and be happy is what life is all about. But the great thing about smiling and being happy and having a center of peace and joy is knowing you have an opportunity in each moment to find happiness in each moment. There's always something that's going to shine, something that's bright that you can hold on to, that is warm, and that is something that is going to make you feel fulfilled. It's called gratitude. Each moment is full of gratitude. You are the sole person in your own life to figure out what those things you should be grateful for are. And if you're not grateful for them, why aren't you? We can all fall to our knees and succumb to all of the pressures of life, to all the stress and the anxiety and the disorders that we have. But those are things that we can actively work on just as much as we can actively work on happiness. We can actively cure ourselves of being miserable, of being a person who has jealousy and resentment in their heart, and pessimistic, negative outlook on life. We are not ugly trolls coming out of the forest to bother other people. We are beautiful people with beautiful souls who have an opportunity each moment to keep moving forward positively with optimism. We're not going to run away from fear. We're going to tell fear, I'm standing tall today and I'm going to face you down. There's nothing you're going to do to me today that's going to make me not find some bit of happiness in my life. Something to hold on to that says, from each moment, as long as I hold on to these things, I'm completely safe. So what are you waiting for? Go. And if you are going, keep going. For every day life is heavy for you, there should be 10 days where life is light for you. It may not be reality for everyone, but it could be a goal, a lifestyle, a mindset. Why live a life of drama? We can live a life of romance. Why argue when you can listen? Why make things difficult when you can create simplicity? Why push people away when the people of value in your life are moving towards you? Why accept toxicity when you deserve tranquility? Life is all about obtaining joy, peace, purpose, and fulfillment. Creating a fun, adventurous path for yourself on your journey is full of that purpose, that peace, that joy, and fulfillment. There's love to be found, blissful silence, strong laughs, beautiful memories, warm hugs, soft kisses, breathtaking horizons, awe-inspiring vacations, unbreakable bonds, unshakable friendships, enduring moments, passionate creations, and best of all, purposeful, fulfilling lives. Your journey began the moment you were conceived. You began cultivating it once you were old enough to understand what the word choices really meant and what the consequences of those choices really meant. We, as humans, have the privilege to be able to choose whether or not we want to be happy or not to be happy. It is always, always our choice. Regardless of what the world brings us or takes away from us, we must still choose to either find peace and happiness or find chaos and pain. Our lives are adventures. Why walk through a dark, fearful, unsuccessful adventure when you can run through a light, courageous, successful adventure? Life should be fun, rewarding, inspiring, and beautiful. We have the ability to create those things within each of our lives, or at least as much of it as we possibly can acquire. We only live once. Why not make it the best one-time thing you'll ever do in your life? A Ronin's Way of Balanced Energy, Episode 10. Life is a fun adventure. It can be very easy in this world that we live in, this one lifetime that we live in, to fall into a pit of pessimistic mindset thinking. Just a continuous track, a railroad track of negative thoughts that every time the train stops, we allow more fear to get on board. We allow more anxiety to get on board. We allow more toxic people to get on board. We allow all the things that can add up to your version of negativity in your life. We add all that in every time we make a stop. But every time we make a stop, none of those things get off. None of those toxic people get off the train. You just keep adding more and more. So you keep adding on to the train. Eventually you run out of room, so you got to make more space for all this misery and this depression and pessimistic thinking, negative thinking, toxic people. They want more room and space and occupancy in your life. So you keep adding on to the train. You just keep going on and on and on. Eventually your train it's just too much to bear. It can barely move any longer. So it stops. It breaks down. Now suddenly you have nowhere to go. And all those things are still not going to get off. They're going to just sit there with you. They're going to hold you down, and you're going to be in that same spot for the rest of your life. An easy way to start thinking about life is thinking about yourself as a moving object. Something that does not get stopped by forward momentum. Your forward momentum is going to push through any momentum. The forward momentum that's coming back you the other way, because as we know, other people's forward momentum is coming as well. And I think that's something we have to think about. Your momentum is always going to clash against someone else's forward momentum. So you have to think about it. Your forward momentum has to go through a lot more other people's forward momentum. And when you think of it that way, you think about all the collisions you're into every single day with clashing ideologies, clashing religions, clashing races and sexes and class systems and cultures. We're all clashing. But let's look at it a different way. What if all of those things can be viewed as something beautiful, as something necessary, as something that is part of the human experience? Without the clashing, what could we truly appreciate, and what would the word gratitude actually mean if we didn't have those types of altercations, those types of clashes, if we didn't have the train full of toxic people and all the fear and anxiety and things that goes on in our lives, disorders, all the things that make up human beings and what each and every one of us have to endure each and every day. If you can think about all of that and still be able to find some reason to smile, to make the day enjoyable regardless, that is how you can get to a full day of fulfillment, where out of everything that's going on, you can still find some piece of happiness. That doesn't mean you're going to be super happy and jumping up and down and have all this energy. It just means, if nothing else, in your mind, you remind yourself, this is bad. I'm not in my best spirits today, but I still have everything that was in place when I was happy a day ago, 20 days ago, a year ago. If you can go down the list in your mind of all the things that made you happy on one of your happiest days, and those things are still in your life, why can't you return to those things, even in your mind, to find happiness and say, okay, happiness does exist. It is not something that is void in my life. It is not something that has been contracted out of my existence. In fact, I can drop a new contract of happiness every single moment if I want to. I can remind myself I am still breathing. That alone should be enough for you to smile. I still have my children. I still have my family. I still have my job, my car, and my house. I still live in a nation where I can do the things that I want to do. If that's something that's in your life, you still have money in your bank account if that's your thing. Some people is I still have my free time. Other people, I still have my vacations. Other people is I still have my hobbies and the things that I want to do with my friends and family. There's always something. There's something there. However, a lot of times we all do this just because we want something, when we have something in our life that we can feel like we can move to happiness with. We want to go to that happiness and we want to stay there. And anything that disrupts it means my life is out of alignment with my purpose. If I'm not happy, something is wrong. If I'm not smiling and I'm not full of energy, something is wrong with my life. Let's look at it a different way. What if those things in your life that are dragging you down, and all the things in your life that are making you make excuses and making you get zapped of energy and making you not focused and making you a person who is pessimistic, and you're allowing everyone to get on to the train and now you're stopped? What if those things were in your life to put things in perspective, proper perspective, for the things that aren't like that, for the people who aren't a part of all that? What if the bad people in your life were there to remind you of how good the good people in your life actually are? What if that horrible job you're going through is an indication that you are supposed to be in alignment with a better job? Your fulfillment in that job is not there because it's reminding you of all the reasons why you should not be there, why there is something missing in that workplace for you. If you go to a church and there's things that you want to align differently, If there's a religion, you want to align differently. There's so many things in your life that are there if you look at it as, okay, this is detrimental to me right now, because it's a reminder, it's an indicator that life isn't fun for me right now. And my venture is treacherous. This is not fun for me. I'm not having fun right now. I'm having a hard time finding gratitude. I'm having a hard time finding peace. I'm having a hard time finding myself not being jealous. I'm having a hard time not being selfish. I'm having a hard time not finding a place in my heart that's full of self-love. I'm having a hard time with this. All of those things can be put onto the other side of the ledger, and you can start saying, what if I focused on obtaining all those things? Instead of looking at all the things that I don't have, I can actively just start making those things happen. And no, it won't happen overnight. No, I may not have all the people who are in my life now. Maybe I have to get rid of a few people. Maybe I have to change jobs or change churches, change religions, change whatever it is about your life that is making you feel severely on a path of not having any fun, not finding any joy in your moments, not finding happiness and peace, and not having the people in your life that you want to have in your life, not having the money in your life that you want in your life. If you can find something to actively work towards and you put it in action, now you have something that is tangible, something that you can actually say, I'm working towards this. I don't have it now, but I can create it. I can create it. The mind is very powerful in creation. If you look at something in a positive way, you can make that positive thing actually come into existence by actively pursuing ways to create a version of that could exist. It may not be the actual thing that came up in your brain, but the exercise, the opportunities you have to actually work on these things is something to be grateful in itself, because a lot of people don't have the opportunity to work on things that can bring them joy and happiness. No matter what they do, it's going to be a very hard struggle for them. And we can't really compare ourselves to other people, but there's always somebody out there going through worse times than we are. I say this a lot. For every moment that we get down on ourselves, just remember there is somebody, some woman out there giving birth to a stillborn baby. And I think about that all the time, because my son was born 4 months early, and he was so close to death for those 4 months he was in the NICU, the NICU, that I had to come to terms with every day for 4 months that I may walk into the hospital and see my son for the last time. I may walk out having given him my last kiss. And for the first months, I couldn't even touch him because he was born so early. And I remember at the time, the only way I'm going to get through this is I got to find a reason to get through just one more day. And that was, I had another day with my son. I got to hold him. I got to sing in his ear. I don't know how much longer I have with him. I'm grateful for what I have. I hope things work out, but I can't think about that right now. Right now, I got to think, I have him. He's right here in front of me. I can look at him. I can touch him. I can smell him. I can think in the future, hey, what is he going to look like when he's 10 or 11? And now I get to see that every day. He is 10. He's about to be 11 years old. And he's exactly how I imagined him. All the things that they said he wouldn't be able to do, he wouldn't be able to walk, he wouldn't be able to talk, his sight would be messed up, his hearing is messed up. Well, he overcame all of those challenges. He's a very good athlete. He's very smart. He has autism. But hey, I'll take autism any day of the week than him being buried somewhere in a cemetery. That's my place I go to when I want to remind myself when I get down to the dumps. Look at that, buddy. You went through that. That's my equivalent of finding peace and joy for myself through that horrible situation. I can go back to that anytime and say, you remember how you got through that? And the funny thing is I don't remember how I got through it. All I know is I just looked at each day one at a time. And that was way before I had my awakening. In fact, a lot of those things that happened during that time, after he did come home and we got things going and everything was better, I was angry about it. So I ended up turning into a little bit of an asshole, because even though I had him, I couldn't put in proper perspective how to grasp now, okay, how do I raise this kid? We got through the hardest part, but I still wasn't happy. I didn't know what it was like to just still continue that Same thing. Once everything got better, I'm like, okay, well, I can start taking this for granted now. He's fine. Everything's great. I can start being an asshole again. And all it did was lead me down a path of making very bad decisions, a divorce. And even though I've worked my way back into being a version of myself that I always thought I could be when I was a little kid, because this version I'm living at now, this version of me now is what I would hoped I was going to be when I was a kid. And for so many years, I was so different than that, I started to give up on myself. Life no longer became fun to me. It became, every day was, you know what, who cares? My life is fucked up, so how can I keep fucking it up? And it gets you nowhere. It gets you absolutely nowhere. That mindset will lead you down a path that will go absolutely nowhere. You will end up that train stuck out with way too many carriages going absolutely nowhere. So how did I turn it around? I had an awakening. And that awakening was, you know what? You are miserable because you're allowing yourself to be miserable. You know what, Michael? Time for you to start putting on your big boy pants and let's start working on these things. Let's stop thinking about it and let's start working on them. If you don't want to be an asshole, don't be. And then one day I stopped being one. Now the version of the asshole for me may be turned into something different for other people, because people thought me looking after myself now was me now being the asshole. They liked the version of me that I thought was an asshole, but the version of me that I started turning in a positive way for me, other people took it as arrogance, ego. He's an asshole. I started getting called an asshole more when I started going down the positive path by some of the people in my life, most of the people in my life, than I was when I was an asshole. And I clearly knew it. They thought I was a great guy. And that's what made me realize no one knows you better than you know yourself. And if you can create a version of yourself that is amplified negatively to people, like the opposite direction, like you think you're something and everyone else thinks you're different, you have to look at yourself and say, what am I projecting here? And it's not always you. It's the people who are around you. Again, you're bouncing back and forth against other people's forward momentum or lack thereof. If you're hanging around a bunch of people who aren't going anywhere, you're probably not going to go anywhere either if you're still looking at them every day. How far are you actually getting away from these people? If you can see them and you're doing the same thing they're doing, you're not moving forward. You're standing right there with them. Especially if you recognize they're not going anywhere. Life is about having a fun adventure. And that's when I started thinking of life, when I had that awakening, as, okay, my son being born and being in those situations was an adventure. And it still is an ongoing adventure. Anyone who raises kids, it is definitely an adventure. You have your ups and downs, just like a roller coaster. But the good thing about it is, if you're in the right mindset, you realize they're their own people. And your job is to be a good example for them. And when you can do that, life becomes easier raising them. My job became so much easier to raise my son when I started looking at life in a positive way. And started doing things in a positive way. I could look at him and through my actions, I know I'm not teaching him anything wrong, because I can move forward now being a positive person. He's going to pick up on that. He's going to pick up how I treat other people. He's going to pick up my smile. He's going to pick up no matter what happens with his dad. His dad always gets up and he's still smiling. He may have a few days here and there, but overall, on average, his dad is getting after it and he's smiling. He's not making excuses and he's doing the best he can with what he has, and he's not blaming anyone. He's giving and doesn't care about taking. And it's showing up in my son, because I want to teach him that life is about every day finding some reason to laugh and smile, even when you have no business doing it in other people's eyes. People may say, what are you laughing about? What are you smiling about? And I'll just tell them, because life is a fun adventure. Yes, I am not doing that great right now, but I still have my son. I have my health. I have my opportunities. I still create. I have no excuse not to be happy. If I'm unhappy, it's because it's my fault. And people don't always want to do the hard things to make sure that that happiness is guaranteed to them, because sometimes to get happiness, you have to make very hard decisions. To get to a simpler way of life, something that you can control in your world, it becomes something of a trek, an onward trek forward through a lot of bullshit from a lot of people. And you have to put everything in perspective. You have to break down every single detail. You have to detach and look at yourself from afar and say, what am I doing and how can I create just one day where I can get through it from the beginning to the end, and no matter what happens in it, doesn't matter what happens in it, I'm going to find reasons to smile. I'm going to find reasons to be grateful. I'm going to find moments for me to get away and have my time in silence and peace. Because I cannot expect other people to make me happy. I can't expect other people to create time for me to have my peaceful moments where I can meditate and do the things that I want to do. I can't expect other people to do my activities and plan my life. I have to do those things for myself. I found that self-discipline actually helps with that more than anything, because self-discipline is about repetition. Self-discipline is about you being in control, self-control of who you are and what you do. If you can get into a repetition of bad habits, that means you can get in a repetition of good habits. That means if you wake up every day and you're pessimistic, that means you can wake up every day and be optimistic. That means you can change something. That means life is not just some cookie cutter version that someone handed to you and said, this is it, bud. This is it, lady. This is all you got. That's not true. That's not true. Your life is for you to create. Let's create a vision of how can each day be a fulfillment for you? How can each day be something that is rewarding no matter what happens? You find something out of each day that is positive. Something for you to say, after all that happened today, I still have this. I still have this person. I still have my house. I still have my car. I still have my opportunities. I still have my life. Again, for every person that's born, somebody's dying out there. For every success that we have, someone is failing. There's always going to be balance in this world like that. So if you can create more of those beautiful, positive opportunities for yourself, the better. The better. There's always a reason to wake up each day and try to proactively say, no matter what, I'm going to do this one thing each day, and it's positive. And that's how you create forward momentum with self-discipline. Is that each day do something that you know, no matter what, is going to be positive. For me, it's always been learning something. At base, if I'm too physically tired to exercise, if I'm emotionally drained, if my soul is taking a break, I know in my mind I can do something positive each day, and that's learn something. Get smarter, if nothing else. Get smarter, if nothing else. Read. Watch an informative video. Write in a journal. Speak with someone who has some insight. Something that's going to make sure, if nothing else, your mind grows a little bit, because so much of our happiness is determined in our mind. We feel emotionally. Emotionally, we can get swelled up with all types of emotions. But in our mind, it kind of dictates how those emotions are rendering with us. I mean, if we're suddenly, oh, I'm so in love with this person, but in your mind you have trust issues, you're canceling out a lot of that emotion. If there's something you want to do in life, you're like, I really would like to go into that career, I just don't know what to do. And your mind is saying, well, you're not qualified. You don't know enough about the job. You know, your mind can say, you know, I know you're feeling this way, but hey, you know, you don't know what you don't know. So don't do it. It's going to be too hard for you to learn, too hard for you to change your mindset. If you let your mind tell you that, yeah, it's going to be very difficult for you to find anything in life to be positive about. But you're stronger than that. So let's take the mind and say, hey, mind, why don't you take a break today? And all we're going to do is we're just going to learn some stuff. You're just going to take in some information. You're not going to tell me what the hell I'm supposed to do today, mind. You're going to get some information fed to you. Repetition. Keep learning every single day. Keep trying to acquire new things to do every day that you haven't done before. Try to do something each day that is a little different than you did before. Try a new dish out to eat. Life is so simple. Trying new things out each day. Trying to do something each day that is positive. Anything that adds up to self-discipline. And that's when life starts to be fun. Then you can start creating a vision of yourself that's fun. Your blueprint doesn't have to be some boring cookie cutter version of your life. Your blueprint can be whatever it is you want to create. Life is about having fun. It's about being simple and having fun and laughing and smiling. Again, laugh, learn, level up. I put laugh first because it is one of the most important things out of all those. You can learn and you can level up, but laughing helps all those things so much. To me, that's the anchor, because laughing means it's a state. You're emotionally there. You're emotionally ready to take in the learning. You're emotionally ready to take in the leveling up, because you're centered in something that is fun. And optimistic, enjoyable, and peaceful, and simple. So the learn, laugh, level up. Laughing is the most important part of it, and having people in your life who understands that makes it even better. How many people in your life who are miserable actually make you feel better when you're around them? You just think about that. Now, what about the people you barely even know that have the ability to smile and laugh and communicate with you in a way that is light, simple, unassuming? Nothing about them wants to take anything from you. Just a warm laugh. They're just living life. That's the person I try to be every day. I just want to be that person where you can walk up and have a conversation, easygoing, unassuming, and you can walk away feeling like that was a positive conversation. That was fun. We take ourselves too seriously in life. And that's what I did as soon as my son got better out of the hospital after that first year. I started taking my life and myself way too seriously. Way too seriously. For a person who loves to laugh and crack jokes and be the person who used to walk into the party and loved going around to each corner of the room and interacting with people and making them laugh, I lost a lot of that because I got too damn wrapped up in my own ego. I got too wrapped up in all the things that was going wrong in my life, and I wanted them to be better. I started thinking about everything in my life, like my father dying when I was younger, and I started letting it consume me. And it happened all the way up until age 37. So no, life is not easy. But I turned it around. I smile every day, even when I have no reason to smile. I still try to find some reason to be grateful and smile even slightly about that. Because life's too short. We don't have that much time here. What we do here is very important. How we do things is very important. Why we do things is very important. Because we never know when it's going to end. Putting things in perspective and saying, be grateful. Be grateful for what you have. Be grateful for the opportunity to be able to implement something today in my self-discipline that is positive each and every day, something I can control. You have time. There is time in each day for you to take a substantial amount of time to do something positive each day, no matter what mood you're in. Even if it's an exercise and just thinking about all the things that you're grateful for, that is a positive, powerful thing you can do. Accepting life as a place of creation, because life is all about creation. Things are growing. If you can grow with the right mindset, if you can instill in your brain that every negative situation has a positive outcome, you can create things for yourself each and every moment, no matter what the moment is. The moment will tell you, hey, you have a choice. You can view this moment as a negative moment, or you can view this moment as a positive moment. You can view this stretch of things and situations that happen as negative, or you can cut through them and get down to the details of each and every situation and find the positives in them, because they're there. Nothing is completely negative. There's always a positive in there somewhere. You have to do the hard work and look for it. The people who give up, they're the ones who aren't going to be smiling at the end. Those situations are going to happen, and they're going to be focused on the negatives. And even after they got through it, and they have every reason to say, wow, I can't believe I got through it. That's a positive. I got stronger through that. They're saying, why did it happen in the first place? Is it going to happen again? And why does it happen to me? You can ask yourself that question, or those set of questions, but a better question would be, what did I learn from it? And the next time it happens, I'm going to be ready. And that's a positive way of looking at something. It's not always about just looking at everything and saying, what did I lose? It's about, what did I gain? More importantly, what did I gain? I did lose some things. I lost this person, lost this thing. I lost this place. What did I learn from that? And what can I gain from each and every one of those circumstances? And that's what makes life equals to fun. Because when you do those things, that's a mindset that is going to be a very good set of discipline for yourself. A mindset that is set in discipline about positivity is beautiful, because you're able to just accept everything that comes towards you, because you know you're going to find the positives out of every one of those situations, including the most ugliest of situations. The choice is yours. Do you want to be happy or not be happy? And what would you do? What would you give up? What would you sacrifice for yourself to make sure that that happiness is a focal point? It is something that happens to you far more than unhappiness. No matter what's going on in your life, no matter what situations you're in, is it something you can create each day? I say there is. So many different ways each day you can create happiness and joy and find a reason to laugh every single day, even if it's at yourself. Even if it's at yourself. I do it all the time. It's just healthy. Even if you have to look up a video to laugh, that feeling of laughing and smiling is a necessity in life. It is part of the fun adventure. I don't go a day without watching at least 1 or 2, and sometimes even 3 funny videos on YouTube. Or if I go on Facebook, I talk to some of my friends, I'll poke fun at them and they're poking fun at me. I like people in my life who are about fun, who smile and appreciate life, and they're more positive than they are negative, and they have every reason in the world to be negative, and they're still fucking positive. They still have a smile on their face. Their health is deteriorating. They've lost everything, and these people still interact with me and they're smiling and laughing. Those are the people I want in my life. Those are the people that inspire you and show you that it's possible. And a lot of these people don't even realize the process of doing it. They're not actively saying, I'm going to do this today to make myself happy. They just generally have a beautiful, peaceful, positive mindset about life. They're not making excuses. They're just going to keep going. They're going to keep learning each day. They're going to keep laughing. They're going to make the best of their life each and every day because they know it's an adventure. They know in the back of their mind it can end at any moment. They're grateful for what they have. Those are all superpowers. That's all stuff that we need to take in every single day, baby. We have to get to a point in life, each and every one of us, where we can find our own peace and joy and happiness that we create for ourselves. That's not attached to anyone else. All those are bonuses. What can we create for ourselves in each moment, each day? What can you implement that can make you feel as if no matter what happens, you have that to look forward to? Because that's what's going to make you smile. That's what's going to make you happy. That's what's going to make you say, I'm ready for tomorrow because I get to do this again. No matter what happens tomorrow, I get to do this. And if tomorrow sucks and I can't do it, I got the day after that and I'll make up for it. There's always the next day. There's always the next moment. There's always the next opportunity for you to be able to create something positive for yourself. But you have to actively do it. You have to actively understand and be aware, detach from the moment and take all the components of that moment and say, what can I learn from this that's positive? And the more you learn from it, the more you're going to level up, the more you're going to be able to laugh. Again, that joy is the anchor. That joy and that peace and that positivity, that all leads up to fulfillment. And that's what we're ultimately looking for. A life of fun adventure, doing what we want to do, the things that we want to create in our lives that makes us happy and fulfilled. The funner you make life for yourself, the better it is. The more peaceful you make life for yourself, the better it is. The more in tune with your purpose through self-love, the better your life will be. But you have to trust all that's going to happen. And you have to trust yourself that you can create a vision of yourself that is about fun and ease and peace and purpose and fulfillment. Because life is a fun adventure. You just have to get all the crap off the train and keep moving. Your mission for today is to find something that you can do each day. Even if it's for 5 minutes, and if you have the time, it can be 5 hours. Each day, we're going to work on self-discipline when it comes to creating something that's going to bring you happiness, joy, and peace every single day, no matter what happens. Something you can create for yourself that you can work on actively and hold yourself accountable for doing every single day to make sure you find moments out of your day to be happy. Something that's going to put a smile on your face. It can be watching the same damn video that makes you laugh uncontrollably each day. It could be talking to that person who gives you insight and encourages you and makes you smile. The goal is to smile each day. The goal is to have fun each day. You have to find some room in your life, no matter what's going on, to just take a moment and find something that is the equivalent of fun. That it's something that you can build on, something that is repetitious, something you can do every single day to the point where you're not thinking about it. Every day you know you get that moment. Because that moment is something for you to look forward to each day. So that's the goal. That's the mission, is to find something each day that you create for yourself that you're looking forward to doing every single day, and your day is not fulfilled unless you do that thing. That's how important that thing is going to become in your life. You're going to do it every single day, repeatedly, until it's just engraved in you in indelible ink, like a tattoo, that you are going to find some peace and joy and fun every single day doing this thing that you created for yourself, that has nothing to do with the outside world, no other person. It's just you. Because if you're alone, it's just you. We have to find ways for you to be happy with yourself when you are alone. And you create that moment for yourself. And that is your mission. Create something each day that you can do that will bring you consistently something fun, something to smile about, something to be happy and positive about, something that fulfills you, something aligned with your purpose. But most importantly, something that's going to make you feel like the day was worthwhile. This is your day. You are here now. These are your moments. You own them. You are brave, bold, powerful. You do believe in yourself. You know you have more in the tank. You know the glass is half full. There is still more room for improvement. There is no end. Believe, believe, believe in yourself. You do believe in yourself. You do believe you can do whatever it takes to get the job done. You don't procrastinate. You don't embellish. You don't lie. You're true to yourself. Peace is in your mind. Peace is in your heart. Peace is in your body. It is definitely in your soul. You are greatness. You have purpose, intentful purpose. You are here for a reason. You are ambitious. You are loving. You are kind, empathetic, compassionate. You are self-love. You have self-control, self-respect. You are joy, peace, freedom, happiness. You are connected to everything in this world and in this universe. And if no one has told you this today, I love you. You deserve to hear that. Salute to you all. The brave never fall. Learn, laugh, and level up.